Hey, you know, this world seems to be lacking a lot of motivation, especially in these times uh, with the COVID and all the other things that are going on with politics and uh, personal issues. Motivation is lacking because it seems like there's so much by way of the forces of evil that are fighting against us, which it tends to hamper our motivation to do better. And that being said, oftentimes there's a notion to just give up and just ride whatever wave um, that you're on and just see where it takes you, and hopefully you don't wipe out. But one of the reasons why we lack motivation is because inspiration is also scarce. I mean, if you're like me, you look everywhere. You can think to look. I mean, you're looking for inspiration. And I know people often say, "Well, you got to go and seek after the Lord. You got to discover Jesus and that kind of thing." But I've looked at those philosophies. I'm not an atheist. I believe in God, but I've looked at those philosophies and the people who actually tell me that kind of stuff, and I see they really ain't in no better shape than I am, and what they're doing is just mechanically repeating stuff that they've been taught, but they've never really been able to prolifically um, carry out, and that's sad. But when it comes to motivation, inspiration, inspiration is a feeling, and motivation is a force. I guess they're both forces in a sense. A feeling is a force. A feeling is a force that gets stirs up from within, and it can be transmuted into motivation, which channels the force outward and causes you to go after whatever you seek. But inspiration um, is scarce, seems to be scarce. Everywhere you you look, it just seems like people are in more so states of despair as opposed to inspiration. And again, inspiration is a feeling that comes from within, and it's a good feeling. So you got to make yourself feel good. You got to feel good, not about yourself necessarily, but you got to feel good inside yourself. And if you have that good feeling inside yourself, then technically you can channel it outward and become motivated. I mean, that is if you make a decision on some kind of goal you want to reach, or some kind of mission you want to accomplish. But I guess it really ain't that hard to make yourself feel good if you truly think about it. For instance, I remember once upon a time, one of my aunts told me about cleaning up the house. And she said whenever she cleaned her house, she felt that inner peace. She felt good about her surroundings, and it would last for a significant period of time. And so she cultivated the habit of cleaning up her house, making her feel good, and that whole inner peace thing. And that's where inspiration, I believe, uh, gets it wells up from a sense of inner peace. So you know what? I actually tried it. Um, I I I tried it, and it worked because I'm not a overly messy type guy, but sometimes I know I would come home from work and that kind of thing, and I think to myself, man, I gotta clean this place up. But because that little that lack of motivation to clean up, and that lack of motivation would speak to me. Lack of motivation is a spirit, and spirits speak to you all the time. A mentality. It's a mentality. Mentality really are spirits that speak to you. And so this lack of motivation, the spirit would tell me, man, just chill out. You just got home from a hard day's work. You can get to it later. What have you, that kind of thing. And I was listening to it because, it was the voice that I was accustomed to being my companion when I would get off from work. Um, when I would go to work, the alarm would go off. Another voice, another spirit would talk to me, and that would be the spirit of anxiety. Yep, anxiety is a spirit, and it would say, "You better get up, before you be late to work." So I would make haste. I'm all anxious, listening to that spirit of anxiety and that kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, this spirit would constantly speak to me. And there were other things too that in my immediate surroundings that I would see, and I think to myself, man, I got to take care of that. But here goes that voice again. That voice, that spirit, that lack of motivation telling me, nah, you can get to it later, man. You you've done so much already. You've did this, you've did that. I mean, come on, man. You deserve a break. Well, one day I decided I deserve a break. All right, I deserve a break from that voice that was keeping me counterproductive. So again, like I said, when talking about my aunt, I went and I cleaned up, tidied up, and all that, and it was like, yeah, I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling pretty good, and with that out of the way and that inner peace there, another voice came to me, and it was like, you know what? I think you should write something. And some of you might know that I like to write, and so I just started writing, and it started to flourish. But yeah, you can. I don't necessarily want to say you can trick yourself into discovering inspiration, but I guess you really can trick yourself, or maybe not trick yourself. Maybe you can remove certain exterior blocks that give off the illusion that you have no source of inspiration. You can remove those exterior blocks, those exterior blocks that you perceive with the five senses, such as, you know, cleaning up the house being a little messy. That's an exterior block that provides that illusion that, you're not getting any inspiration or whatever the kind of exterior block you may have that gives that illusion that you can't get that peace that surpasses all understanding, which can transmute into inspiration and finally motivation. You can remove those exterior blocks. I know that there are some of them that can't be immediately removed, but there are some that can. You can think of them, you know what they are. Um, as far as those exterior blocks go, it can be challenging sometimes, very challenging, because some of those exterior blocks are in the form of people. People. that claim to care about you, people that claim to be in your corner, but they're serving as those exterior blocks. What are they doing? Are they just negative personalities? Are they just people that make you kind of like the voice in my head that was telling me I needed to relax as opposed to cleaning up the house? Are those people in the form of leisure? And if they are, don't get me wrong, leisure is good. Leisure is very good. You need it. But when leisure begins to tug at something inside of you that tells you you should be doing something else that improves your situation, like you get invited to a party and then another voice in you, another spirit says, yeah, but you know you need to really be doing this, something else instead. You need to be doing this to improve your life as opposed to doing that habitual thing, that habitual leisure thing. And those people, they're not trying to directly block you, but they'll always be there. But there are other type folk. There are other type folk, and again, all I'll say is that they're negative personalities. And another challenge in and of itself is that a lot of them can be family, co-workers, all other kind of things that seem to not be readily able, or you being readily able to remove that kind of stuff or those kind of influence in the immediate moment. But what you can do is start with the things you can remove in the immediate moment. And when you start with those and you develop that inner peace, that inner peace will start speaking to you in certain ways different to what those other customary spirits do. And they will tell you exactly how to handle those negative people, whoever they are, wherever they are. Not only will they tell you how to handle those people, they will give you the courage and the inspiration to do so boldly. Anyway, inspiration can be found, motivation can be found, and you can find it first within yourself by removing whatever is an immediate obstacle that you can that serve as those illusions to prevent inspiration and motivation from coming. Go ahead and start removing them. Remove one today. Okay? Remove one today. And then another one tomorrow. And again another one tomorrow. And watch how inspired you become. Thank you for listening. Hope all is well with you. Subscribe to this channel. God bless.